Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be the first in a whole series of videos of WordPress for old people. As a developer for quite some time now, I've come across many people in the older generations who want to put some information up, just accounts of their life, cool stories that they have to tell. And a lot of us younger people, we'd really like to read about those stories online. And hear what you have to say. So I wanted to take an approach that was a little bit slower, that really gives you just the nuts and bolts that you need to get your information online. There'll be simpler methods to get your posts and your pages up, and it's going to be really clear cut for you. And if you have any questions throughout the videos, just go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to answer. I always answer all my comments, even if it's just a thank you or how are you doing or great video or anything like that. I'll always be sure to respond. So don't be shy about leaving questions in the comment section, because a lot of times someone else will have the same question, but they may not want to ask. So what I've got set up so far is I use GoDaddy a lot of times. I do have other hosts, but GoDaddy is really well known, easy to work around, and then they do have the 24/7 phone support. So if something is not working on their side, they'll always be there to check it out for you. But everything else, as far as inside of the WordPress, I'm gonna help you take care of today. So I've already called in. I talked to a representative. He was a great guy, helped me out, got me set up with the domain name WordPress for old people, and so we can go ahead and build this site on that domain name. I also opted for the managed WordPress hosting because that is an option that is going to take all the heavy lifting away from you, the person building the WordPress website, so that way you can just focus on what's important. And what is important to you is your content, your pictures, things like that. That's what you're most concerned with. So first thing we'll do is, this is the GoDaddy My Account screen. If you have a GoDaddy account, or you will, when you call them up, they'll go ahead and get you to this screen. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a new WordPress website. So we click the Manage button. You saw me do that. And now we got the two options, migrate your existing. So for this video, we don't have an existing WordPress website. We're going to need to make a new one. So I'm just going to click that, create a new WordPress website. So we're going to go ahead and select this temporary domain name, just to build our website on a little bit, and where it's going to be blocked from Google, so Google won't be able to index our information while we're working, which is a great thing, because you don't want somebody to come to your website off of a Google link and then see it kind of while you're still building it. It's a lot better to get all of your content into the website and then release it to Google, then put it on the main domain name. So this URL that we selected is going to be available to you at all times. It won't be hidden, so there's no need to write it down. The next thing they want you to do is go ahead and choose a data center. And I'm in North America. You may be in the EU. If you are in Europe, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, wherever, you may want to choose a European server. You're going to get a lot faster response time, okay, by probably a couple of seconds, maybe a second or two. Next, we'll go on down to the WordPress username, and for this what I like to do is I've got two little side boxes here. You'll see this top side box, this one here. This is just a text edit page, a text edit little. It's like a piece of paper, almost like a scratch paper for your desktop. If you're using an Apple computer, Apple calls it text edit. If you're using a PC, a Windows machine, that is called Notepad. So either TextEdit for Mac or Notepad for PC. You're going to want to use one of those programs. And what I like to do is I like to type out my information before I copy and paste it into these setup screens. So for this one, I'm going to do old WP dev team. It's going to be my username. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm just going to paste it right into there. And then I'm going to change this email address. I want to be that to be contact@weconnectwebsites.com. And We Connect Websites is another channel that I have, and it gets a little bit more in depth. Sometimes it'll talk about more of the heavy lifting of WordPress, but for these I'm going to go ahead and keep it simple for all you old folks. Then we need a password. Now, passwords with WordPress are very important. You're going to want a password that has these special characters in it right here. You don't want to omit those. WordPress is very popular, and because it's very popular, you'll have people who will want to try and hack your website. Now, it's not that you have anything important in your website or that they're trying to take over your content or anything like that. They really could care less about your stories or your pictures or any of that kind of stuff. What they really want to do is get into your website, and they want to run a website next to yours or run spam next to your website. So, they don't want to take you out. They want to keep your site up and running so that they can run a website directly next to yours. It's almost like if you're it's kind of like if you fill your tank up with gas. You fill your car up with gas, and you got a full tank. You got 10, 20 gallons of gas in there, and then somebody comes by and they filter the gas. They siphon the gas out of your car. So they took, let's say you had 10 gallons of gas in there, and they came along and they took 8 of it. 8 of your 10 gallons. Well, you may not need those other 8 gallons of gas that you had in your car, and you may not even notice. And that's what they're doing, is they're going to wait, and they're going to just get into your account, and they're going to do stuff, send spam. So we're going to want to create a really nice password. So for this one, I'm going to randomize it. I'm going to make it really random, because I'm going to leave it in this little text file here. And a lot of people will say that's dangerous to do in your computer. You shouldn't do that, but I kind of lean toward that. You're going to need a place to copy and paste these kinds of things as it gets more complex, because it's hard to remember some of these. So for these, I'm just going to go ahead and make something up. So we're going to do, how about a T5, and then we'll use that %sign. And then a G and a 4 and an 8 and a V and another capital, that's an H. And I got an exclamation point, and what else do we want to put in there? How about a 0 and a B and a capital Z and an @ symbol. Alright, so we got this crazy password, and I don't expect you to remember it. I am never going to remember that, but that's pretty secure. That's going to keep people out of your site, out of your website, and that's what you want. So you can see that the password's in there now, and all my information is filled out. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the Finish button. And now GoDaddy is going to do the rest. They're going to put your files on the server. And files are one portion of your WordPress site. And then they're also going to put your database together for you too. You see, WordPress has 2 pieces to it, and if you don't have both pieces, you can't run a WordPress website. The first piece is your files, and the second piece is your database. Now you can think of the files as like the body of your website, just like your body. You got hands, you got arms, you got legs, you got feet. eyes, all that kind of stuff. It's the body. It's it's what you look like. It's what you're made up of. And then there's the brain. You have a brain. So in WordPress, the brain is the database, and the files are the body. Okay, so the brain is where all your information is stored. Where when you make a post, a blog post, and you go to put it up online, that information is stored in the brain. And then when people look up your site and they view it on the internet, all of the things like the colors and the spacing and all of that kind of stuff is all in the files, and that is the body. So we'll wait for our account to finish setting up here, and this is going to be really, really cool for you. It's what GoDaddy does is they take you directly into the WordPress dashboard. So let's go there now. Click this Get Started button. Now, GoDaddy is also giving you this screen here for a quick setup of your WordPress website. If you feel that you want to try it, you can. I personally, I go no thanks, because I want to configure everything on my own. I don't want to have anything put where I don't want it. Okay? So GoDaddy has done a few things once you get in this dashboard with their managed WordPress. They've got this stuff here called Sidekick. If you need help with something, you can click on this Sidekick here, and that's going to give you a little pop-up, and you can go through and it'll talk to you about doing certain things and making changes and stuff like that. I'll go ahead and leave that set up for right now. So this is our WordPress standard dashboard. This is what you'll see in every other YouTube video. Every WordPress is going to be the same. What you're really working with here is WordPress.org, and WordPress.org provides you all of this dashboard that you see here, and then there's a bunch of support for it as well. So you can type anything you want into Google and then just add the word WordPress behind it, and you'll get great information on how to do specific things if something in one of my videos doesn't cover what you're looking for. So since we're in our managed WordPress dashboard, there's just a couple of little things that to get you set up. Alright, so the first thing is you need to decide what kind of website do you want, and how do you want it to look. Okay, so there's if you want all of your blog posts to be right on the front page, you would leave the current setting. Everything is already set up to do that. So if you make a post about your grandkid's birthday, and then you make another post about I don't know, the 4th of July, and then another post about Christmas coming up, or a graduation party, or anything like that, all of those posts are going to accumulate on your home page. Now, a lot of people don't like that. They want to put just certain things on their home page and then let everything else kind of filter in the back side of the website somewhere. Perfectly fine, we can do that. And it allows them to set up more pages. So the first thing we're going to do to set up those pages and get going here is we're going to click on Settings. Settings is where you're going to make adjustments about the WordPress website overall. So first thing you can change is the site title. So my title happens to be WordPress for Old People. And I hope nobody is offended by that comment. I'm getting old too myself, but I figured that was the best way to really drive home what we're doing here and what level we're on. We're going to take it a little slow. We're going to explain things and just make sure that you got the basics down. And then the tagline is whatever snappy catchphrase you want to do. Taking it slow on the web. that's what we're doing, taking it slow on the web. Here's my URL. You'll see that there. And then here's that email that I filled out. Remember in the beginning, we had to put an email in there, contact@WeConnect Websites. So new user role, subscriber. That's the lowest setting as a subscriber. That means if somebody registers for your website, they're not going to be able to do anything. They'll just be able to basically change their profile information, and that's what you want. All of these time settings, you can play with these as you know, you see fit. That's all pretty straightforward. What day of the week do you want the site to start? And then your language. We'll save those changes. Always be sure with WordPress to scroll to the bottom, and you should see this these buttons here. They're generally blue. They'll say either publish or update or save changes or something in that nature. And you're going to want to always save those changes. So we'll go over here to the left again, and we'll click on writing. Writing, go down these. You've got uncategorized. This is when you make a post, a blog post. So we were talking about grandkids' birthday party. Everything will have a category, and you'll see that coming up soon. But uncategorized means it's not going to put it anywhere. It's just going to kind of leave it off to the side. Default post. Now there's different ways that you can display your posts. We're just going to leave ours on standard for right now because that's good enough. Mail server, you won't need to mess with that. None of this stuff you need to mess with. And we'll save the changes. So once those changes are saved, we're going to go over to reading. Now, reading is the important one here. This is where you're going to decide whether you want your posts, like we were talking about, all displayed to the home page, or if you want them to display to another page. So in my case, what I want to do is I want my post to go on a different page. So in order to do that, we're going to have to do something first. So even though we're here in this reading section, like I showed you there, we're going to go up here to pages, because I'm going to need to add the page that I want my blog posts to go on. So we click on pages. You can see we've got a sample page here, but we're going to need to add a page in order to get our website to look more like a full website and not just a running blog. So we can add a new page, and then here in this top large bar, we're going to go ahead and type well, I want my first page to be called welcome. So when you come to my site, my home page isn't called home, it's called welcome. Okay, so, and we'll type some text here. Here is my first page, also known as the home page. All right. So there we have it. We labeled our page, labeled it up here, added a little bit of just general text to give us an idea of where that text is going to pop up on the website. We can click the publish button. There you go. And now this page is officially published to our website. So even though that's there, if you went to the front of the website right now, you wouldn't see that page just yet because we haven't done a few of the other setup things that we need to do. So we have our home page, which is our welcome page. I'm going to click on add new, and now I need to make the page that's going to hold my blog posts. So we're going to name this one blog, because that's where my blog posts are going to be. And I'm going to type, this is the blog post page. All posts will show here. So we've got that, a blog post, and we publish. So now we've got 2 pages, and if we click over here on the left again, all pages, you can see that we've got blog, sample page, and the sample page is one that's set up by WordPress by default, and we've got welcome. So now that we've got all of our pages set up, we can go back to settings, and if you hover over settings, you can go directly back to reading. Now this is the page that we were going to set up where we wanted our blog posts. You have the option front page displays. So the front page we already know we made that welcome, but do we want it to display our latest post? No, we want it to have a static page. And a static page means it's just a regular page. You have to put all of the content in there. WordPress won't do it for you. So you can click the select button for the front page. We have to tell WordPress what page we want to be the front page. So we want it to be welcome, and then post page. Now this is where all of our blog posts are going to come up, and remember we made that page called blog. Now you can label these pages whatever you like, but you're going to have to select them accordingly in the front page and the post page from these drop down menus. Now they'll give you a couple of other options here. Blog pages to show at most. This is how many posts it's going to show when people come to the blog page. So if if I go to your blog page, the page is only going to show me 10 of your latest posts, and then I'll have to click another button to show me the next 10, and so on and so forth. Syndication feeds, if somebody has what's called an RSS, some of you may be familiar with that, it'll show them the most recent 10 posts that you have as well. We're going to show full text in case somebody does RSS us, but nobody's going to do that just yet. And I saved the changes right there. So that sets up our pages for reading, the blog and the welcome. Now that we have those pages established, let's go ahead and just kind of run through the rest of these. Now, discussion. This is what people can do when they come to your site. So in these, you can read through them. What I like to do, I don't like to allow people to really comment on my stuff, because sometimes it's spammers or hackers and stuff, and on a lot of my sites I really don't need people to comment, and for many other people they disagree, they want people to comment. But I make it very difficult for people to comment, and I'm going to continue with that trend here. If you feel that you want comments to show on your site, then leave me a comment below, and I'll shoot a video specifically on allowing comments and how to secure yourself from those comments. So I don't allow people to post on new comments or articles. That's one highlighted section that I want to point out to you. The next one is comment authors must fill out name and email. So that forces them to have more information if they want to comment. Users must be registered and logged in. We're enabling thread comments. We're going to turn off comments, so a lot of this won't really matter. Let's see what else is important here. Anyone post a comment, email me when anyone posts. You want that to do that. And it's going to email you at the email address that we initially typed in, which in my case it's contact@WeConnectWebsites, but in your case it'll be whatever your preferred email address is. And then it's going to email me when comments are held for moderation. I always make sure that my comments have to be manually approved. Manually approved means that you have to go in and click a button before anybody's comments show on your website. Now, if you don't want spammers just to go there and put their stuff up or and whatnot, this is the best way to go. So you'll have to get an email and approve it, and then you'll be able to let people see those comments. When a comment contains any of these words, URL, email, IP, held in the moderation queue. So any comments or any words that you put in here, it's going to, no matter what these settings are above here, it's going to hold that comment until you approve it manually. Okay, so let's say somebody wants to put a link in there. You can put anything with HTTP. So anything with HTTP, they're going to email you and let you know that, hey, you need to approve this because it's got stuff in it that you may not want. And you can do that. You can put in explicative words if you wanted. So, but explicatives are more geared toward down here. So if you wanted to add all the favorite 4-letter words, the F words, the SH word, some people may not want that word in there, you know, HE double hockey sticks, you know, you can put all those words in there. But again, since I'm not allowing comments, I'm not too concerned with that. And this is just how all of your the displays for avatars are going to come up. You know, you can do Gravatar logo. Gravatar logo is something where if people have one picture all across the internet, and that's what Gravatar is. So if you use this and you allow comments on your site, people are going to be happy because their picture that they want people to see is going to show up rather than one of these little monsters or one of these little kind of retro things or any one of these guys. So you can use the Gravatar. People will like that. We'll go ahead and save the changes for this page. And media. Media isn't something that I really mess with all that often. You can change if you wanted the thumbnail size to change. Thumbnails are when you have a preview of a post or whatnot. You can set what you want your medium-sized pictures and your large-sized pictures to be. Again, I don't mess with too many of those. I just leave them how they are because generally these settings here will work out just fine for whatever you need. Organize my uploads into month and year based on folders. Yes, you want this to be checked. So we didn't change anything on this page, but I'm still going to click Save Changes just because. On to Permalinks. Now permalinks are something you can set. By default, WordPress is, you know, it's got the month and the name right there, so you can see how that comes up. And you'll see the custom structure line will change as well, depending on what you choose. But plain is by default WordPress. This is how WordPress sees your links. This is not the best way though to, you know, put up your stuff. 99% of the time you're going to want it to display the post name. The reason being is there's this stuff called SEO or search engine optimization. You may have heard of that term, but may not know what it means. It means search engine optimization, and SEO is what allows Google, Yahoo, Yelp, Bing, all those other large places to kind of see what you have in your site by the URL. By the way, it's not URL, it's URL, just to let you know. So you've got your sample post there. Post name is how we want it to be. Category base, tag base, we're not going to mess with any of those. We're going to leave them blank. We're just going to click Save Changes. So you'll notice that I changed it to post name and Save Changes. Now, permalinks are going to be important when you have updates as well. You're going to need to go in there and you don't need to change anything. You don't need to switch any of these. But when WordPress updates or one of your plugins updates, sometimes things won't work and you won't know why. A lot of times it's these permalinks. So if you come to this page, you don't have to click anything but Save Changes. And once you click Save Changes, it's going to kind of refresh the WordPress and pick up how you want your URLs to be displayed. No need to select anything else. Come in, click Save Changes, you're done. Sidekick, we talked a little bit about that, about how it works, I showed you a little bit. It'll give Sidekick will also give you walkthroughs and things like that. If you'd like to configure this, you're more than welcome to read through it. It's not something that I'm going to go over here in great detail. Limit login attempts. This is very important. Okay, this is what's going to keep the hackers who are going to keep trying to get into your site. You can kind of think of it as someone standing outside your door of your house with a large ring of keys, like the largest ring of keys you've ever seen in your entire life. There's like 10,000 keys on each ring, and there's 40,000 key rings. So there's a lot of keys that these people have. And they're going to stand outside the door of your house and just try every one of these keys, because eventually the key is going to work. So what you can do to prevent them from getting in is limit login attempts. So first thing, allowed retries. You get one retry with me. I set all of mine the same way. And if you, what this means is if you try it once, minutes, let's say you fail, the minutes of lockout, I'm going to set those. I usually set those to, we'll go 200. So 200 minutes, so it's a little over 3 hours. It's going to lock them out. All right. Now on to the next box. Now if they get 2 lockouts, I'm going to hold them out for 200 hours. Right, so that's a pretty long time. Hours until retries are reset. For this one, we're going to go 2,400. So 2,400 hours, it's going to hold them away. And now you say, how does WordPress know who's there? How do they know that this is the person that I need to lock out? How do I know that? How does WordPress know that that's a bad person? Okay, well, we're going to have to check this box down here, log IP. And what that does, log IP, is when somebody logs in and they failed, or they didn't get the username and password correct, it's going to lock them out by registering their IP in the database. That's the brain. So the brain is going to remember, hey, this IP address, or an IP address looks like this, and every computer has one. It's going to say, hey, this IP address is not good. This person isn't getting in. They got the wrong password. They got the wrong username. We're going to go ahead and log their information into the brain so that the brain knows, don't let this guy in for another 2,400 hours. Don't even let him try again. Perfect. Now another thing I like to do is email admin after one lockout. So as soon as somebody fails to log in correctly to one of my websites, it locks them out for 200 minutes, and then it sends me an email to let me know that somebody's trying to break in. So it's a nice way to really lock down your website. It's a great feature if you're not allowing comments, you don't have multiple people logging into your website to make posts, so you don't share your website with anybody. It's just for you and your readers. Great way to do that. And this doesn't have a blue button like the other screens does, because limit login attempts is actually what's called a plugin, and we'll go over plugins in another video. But for here, we want to do just change options, and that's going to save. Okay. So GoDaddy email marketing, they just put this one in here. GoDaddy does have this email marketing thing, and then you can use these short codes. We'll go over short codes in another video, but you put this short code in a page, and it's going to display your contact form or your login form for that GoDaddy email marketing. You'd have to contact GoDaddy if you want to add that service. So basically, after you build your website, you want to put people on a newsletter, you use that email marketing for that. So those are our basic WordPress settings to get your site up and running, as far as everything under the settings button. So now we've got we've gone through all of that. We've got our pages set up. Hey, let's take a look really quick at what our live website looks like right now, because we can do that. So what you see me just do there is I go ahead and click in the URL bar in my browser, that's way up here, and I'm just going to highlight this end portion, because this is my actual domain name right now, is this C3D88E. So all this junk here, I'm going to copy that. And you copy using on a PC, on a Windows machine, you do Control-C for copy, right? For Mac, you do Command-C, or you may have a little squiggly, a squiggly kind of 4 square thing, and that's the Command button. And you do Command-C, and that'll copy whatever you've highlighted. So there you go, Command-C. And that copies it. Now I'm using Google Chrome as my web browser. So with Google Chrome, there's something called a private browsing window. And what private browsing means, it means that it's not going to take on this stuff called cache, right? And it's not like cache in your wallet. Caching means it's a page that is stored in the web browser. And the web browser remembers what the page looked like before, so it's going to reload that old page and say, hey, this has got all the same information. I'm going to give you this because it's going to load a lot faster. So that's what caching is. So when you look at your website, you don't want to look at it with caching. So how do you do that? Well, Google Chrome and Firefox make it easy for you. You can go over here, click on this side button, and you should be able to see new incognito window, and that's right here. So you can click that, but you'll also see that off to the right it gives you some options here. It's a button shortcut that it gives you. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to click on new incognito window, and that's going to pop up, and then I'm going to Control-V, which pastes in my URL, right? So we copied it, and then we pasted it. Very, very simple. So Control-C on it copies, Command-C on a Mac copies, Control-V as in victory will go ahead and paste. Command-V on a Mac will paste. So we'll just click the enter button, and now we can see our WordPress site. And you can see that I wrote here is my first page, also known as the home page, and my welcome. WordPress for old people, taking it slow on the web. So this is all the stuff that I've gone on ahead and already entered. You can see that it's already here in the website and live on the web. So that's our basic setup. We've got WordPress somewhat configured. I want to go over one other quick well, I'm going to end it right here for this video. That's enough information for this video. I'm going to hold it up, and we're going to go over the other stuff in another video. I think I've given you enough information for this little 15-minute time slot. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. You have my email, contact at contact@WeConnectWebsites. If you want to send me an email, you don't want to comment, go ahead. You can send me an email there, WeConnectWebsites.com. You can visit that website. I think there's a contact page there. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're confused about anything, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. All right.